The U.S. Department of Agriculture announced that it would purchase up to $263 million in dairy and ag products from American farmers and producers and then distribute all that to food banks and nutrition assistance programs across the country. So how is that impacting us here in Georgia? Happy to be joined this morning by Julie Kuykendall, Executive Director of Feeding Georgia. Hey, Julie, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. It's great to have you after a nice weekend here, although it is a cold morning to start things off here in Atlanta. Julie, just to start us off, what is the state of food banks right now across the state?
Well, the state of food banks is where it has been for a while, which is that we are experiencing more need than we have resources to address. And that's always a concern for us in times like this where inflation is high, fuel prices are high. There's a lot bearing down on families that are facing food insecurity and hunger. So this news out of the USDA is very good news for food banks and especially those who are facing hunger in our community.
Yeah, how do you interpret that announcement from the Department of Ag? I mean, is this something that can help immediately, or are we going to see it further down the road?
It takes a little bit of time, but yeah, for the most part, this is immediate good news. So it's a great example of how the USDA partners with farmers and with emergency food assistance networks like food banks, right? So periodically they will look for oversupply in the market and they will actually come in and purchase that oversupply, those oversupplied products, and then they can turn that around and distribute that to emergency food assistance networks like our food banks, which is fantastic. Everybody wins. It's called bonus commodities, and those commodities are rich and nutritious and healthy. So you've got things like milk and cheese and butter. There's even some pecans in there and beans. So just the very things that families need to put on their tables.
And you said this is a win for everybody. I mean, I got to think the farmers are ecstatic to have some of the supply taken off their hands and to get some money in return. I mean, what does this do for Georgia farmers where agriculture is such an important part of our state?
I think you said it right there. You know, ag is such an important part, not only for the state of Georgia, but for really the country. So yes, when farmers hear this, it's also really good news for them. It's a way that the federal government and the USDA really partners and looks out for the farmers' interests, and that we all protect each other as a nation in terms of our food supply, which is extremely important. And so these bonus commodities, what's called Section 32, periodically the USDA can come in and do this, and we're always thrilled when they do it, and they do it as much as they can. So we really appreciate the partnership. And again, the biggest relief is for our neighbors and families that are looking to put food on the table tonight.
Yeah, and some of those families are watching right now. Maybe they're feeling food insecure for the first time in their lives. What should they be doing right now? What's the first step?
The first step is to find your local food bank. You can go to feedinggeorgia.org and you can do a food bank finder right on the home page that you can plug your zip code into and look for the very nearest food bank in your community. We supply the church pantries and the soup kitchens across the metro Atlanta area and across the state that feed in their local communities, where neighbors can see a trusted face and someone that's familiar when they go to do something like try to find a meal and try to get some food. It's tough. You can imagine for anyone facing this situation, it's not something people want to be worried about or having to deal with, but that's what food banks are there for. So they simply find their local food bank, check the hours, check the times, and go visit them right away. That's what it's there for. It's there for you.
Julie, you know, we find ourselves in this partial government shutdown right now affecting the Department of Homeland Security. But I'm just curious to know, coming off that record shutdown last year, I think it ended in November. So here we are a few months later. Are you guys still feeling the impacts of that, or have you fully recovered?
We are still in recovery mode, and we will be for some time. That was the longest ever shutdown. Not only did it impact government workers, but eventually it impacted the SNAP nutrition program. That's otherwise known as food stamps. When that hit, that was unprecedented. So that was tough. Our food banks dipped into their reserves to fill the shelves to make certain that all of the need was filled. And we are still in recovery mode, as are our families. And that will go on for a time. So again, something like bonus commodities and distribution from USDA is right on time.
Julie, my final question to you. As we all think about the future and artificial intelligence, how do you think about that when it comes to tapping into AI, to feed the hungry, to looking towards the future of food distribution, how is that going to change things down the road?
I love that question. We've been asking that ourselves. You know, food banks are constantly in mode of innovation. And if you think about it, food banks are literally a very sophisticated supply chain and logistics network for getting food from where it might be thrown away or wasted or plowed under to the tables of families in need. And that takes a lot of supply chain and logistics sophistication. And so it's really exciting to think, how can we harness AI? And all across the Feeding America network and all across the state of Georgia at our food banks right now, we are asking that question, looking at new technologies and innovations and ways to get that food from place to place and to the tables much faster. It's a great thought and a super exciting time for all of us, including food banks.
It could free up a lot of your time not handling logistics, I imagine. So looking forward to the future, Julie, no doubt.
We'll
Thank you so much.
Look forward to the future.
Yeah, we appreciate your time.
For the opportunity.
Yes,
Thank
great
you.
talking with you this morning. Julie Kuykendall, Executive Director of Feeding Georgia.